Hey all, my name is Nurit and welcome to my channel. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video. I've been in between apartments and all my sewing gear is packed and I have no access to sewing at the moment. I miss sewing very much, but that's that. I thought I would talk to you about tips for beginner sewers, something I wish I knew when I started sewing. And also, I would like to hear your comments below because perhaps there are things that I didn't think of and you faced. So we want to help as many beginners sewer, and I want to have access to all this information. So if you have any other tips, please comment below. And let's start. So the first tip I wanted to say is don't jump the gun. If you want to start sewing, start with the easiest project. Start with a pillowcase. Don't start with a chiffon dress with multiple layers and the transparency and everything. Don't start with the basic. A basic item, basic t-shirt, basic thing. You know, sometimes fixing an existing garment can be much more complicated than sewing a whole new outfit from a blank fabric. So don't think that buying a sewing machine, you can start with only fixing stuff that you bought and you want to change or alter. Sometimes it's more complicated because you have a restraint of what you have in terms of fabric and shape. So sometimes sewing stuff from scratch, as intimidating as it may sound, is the easiest thing to do. Okay, number two, if you're going to combine fabrics, only do it with a same type of fabric. So if you're going to sew velvet dress, don't add cotton fabric with the velvet. No, if you want to combine colors and patterns, only use the same type of fabric. So if you started with a velvet dress, if you want to combine other color, use it in velvet fabric. Different color, same fabric. It's very important because otherwise it doesn't look good. That's the main reason. But also when you wash it in the washing machine, sometimes some fabric shrink, and in comparison to the other fabric they might not shrink as much. It might not look that good, and you want your sewing project to look very professional and very nice. Number three, only buy cheap fabric. Don't be afraid to make mistake, because when you buy very expensive fabric, you worry about the fabric. Even now when I buy cheap fabric and I start cutting, it's always a moment of, oh my god, I'm cutting, I will not be able to use this fabric for anything else. I have to make this work, this project work. But what if I bought a very expensive fabric because I'm a sewer now, I have a sewing machine and I want to make this amazing dress and everything, but it's the first time that I'm making this dress and I'm too afraid to make a mistake, so it might bring me to not doing anything, keeping it as a project to be something in the future. So think, what's the worst that can happen if you buy a cheap fabric? The worst that can happen is that you lose a few bucks, so that's okay. If you don't try, you won't make mistakes, but you will also not succeed. So try, do the best that you can with a cheap fabric. You won't feel so bad if it doesn't go as planned. Okay, number four, think about a style over fashion. You need to think what is your style of colors, of patterns, and buy only the fabric that complements your skin tone, your face. You need to make sure that you only buy things that you can actually use, because if you buy neon colors or baby pink when it doesn't suit your complexion, it will only stay in the closet and you will not use it. So only buy, don't be tempted by lovely colors and bright patterns. Only buy patterns and colors that you know you love and complement you and you know you'll be happy to wear. Number five, find the right type of sewing for you. There are many approaches to sewing. I do the easygoing, no measuring, no pattern, just cut, assess. That's my style. It's freestyle. It's anything can happen. It's very open, but it's still very limiting because it's not like when you use pattern that you use one pattern, you make the adjustment, and then you can replicate it all the time and so many clothes based on the same pattern. My method, it might be easier in the beginning, but eventually perhaps using pattern is easier over time. But I find that this is my style. That's what suits me. I'm not a person of restriction and blocks. I'm very open, so I think that's my style. Another thing is some people are very strict. Some people like fast fashion. Some people like couture fashion. So you need to find your trend, your style, your approach to sewing, and stick to it, and find only the videos and the movies that direct you to that field. Number 6 is be a part of the community. Subscribe to sewing channel, respond in the comment below, ask question, advertise your own work, be proud of what you've made. Tell people I made this. Be proud of what you've made. And if you're stuck in a project and you don't know how to proceed because of technical issues, take a picture, ask questions. There are many very qualified people, very nice people in the sewing community, in all sorts of media, in Facebook, in Instagram, anywhere you want, in YouTube also. You can take the picture and you can ask questions, and people will guide you and help you, and you will be able to continue, or at least learn from your mistakes, learn what you did wrong, so that you will not do it again in the future. My 7th tip is to subscribe to all sorts of sewing channels in all medias, because you want to surround yourself with information and tutorials all the time. You want the knowledge to float in your mind so that you'll absorb the knowledge subconsciously, and when you want to perform something that you once saw in some video, you will remember that you saw it. Maybe you won't remember all the steps, but you will remember that you saw it, and that will enable you to go and look for the information and then to find it and have reference points. So that's very important. And another thing, if you decide that you're going to be a sewer, don't go to town and maximize your credit card. Don't do it like this. Buy per project everything that you need, and in time you will accumulate many materials and elastics and lace and threads of any kind, so that you will be able to combine it with future projects. So if you have a project to do, buy only the material for that project. No, it's tempting, you're going to the sewing store and you want to buy everything. Don't do that, just buy per what you need. So that's it. That's my 8 tips to share. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any other tip for beginner sewer, please write them below. If you want to hear more about sewing or my future project, please subscribe and you'll be notified. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.